is to connect with ourselves, and welcome ourselves to a new dispensation. It's 10 years of WiGE and 10 years to pioneer us into something new. So, like you have been reading on the group chat, there are 1,001 things that we are doing in here today. So please relax. If your friend is not here and she's a woman in geoscience or engineering, please bring them in here, send them the link code, let them join us, let everyone join us in the industry, and let us have a swell time. So we are asking that you please keep this very interactive, connect with one another. This is beyond a virtual call. It is a WiGE call. It is a woman call. And I would like to say welcome. I'm not the host for today, but I am breaking the bias of opening the session. Mrs. Atobiloye will be doing us the honor of hosting and facilitating this session. And you'll be getting to know all the team leads of the various part of WiGE. We will have a full event. So we'll be holding you down for the next one and a half hour. So please just follow through and contribute as much as you can. So I'd like to invite the indefeasible Mrs. Enife Atobiloye. I like the way I'm calling your name this evening because she's here to break the bias and she'll be doing justice to the moderation. So over to you, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Tubosun, you are just always too much. It's really good to be here. First of all, let me apologize that we're starting a little late. It's not in our character, so we really are sorry about this. It was just due to some mix-ups that were unavoidable. So we're just going to go straight into the show, if you like. And let's really relax. Like Tubosun has broken she's broken the bias, even though there was no bias there anyway. But all right, so we're just going to go straight into the program, and like she has mentioned, it's quite a full program, and so please, we're just going to go back to back and try to achieve as much as possible within this time frame. And so to even start, I would just like to welcome our own very, very, very special leader. And I just want to call on Mrs. Ojelabi Adedoja to come on and, welcome us as we start. You are on, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Atobiloye. Thank you to Tubosun for the very, very warm opening, because this is the first event that WiGE is having this year. It's great to see everybody online, and it's great to be with everybody else. We've been talking offline, planning today's activities as well as getting the conversation going. But the WiGE culture is now our culture. The first event is usually the IWD, and that's where we reveal our theme for the year, and then we introduce all our programs and plans, and of course talk about everything to do with the International Women's Day. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to, before I get to thank my panelists, I just want to welcome everyone that's online. I see that Professor Ajakaye is online. So Madam, we're giving you a very heartwarming welcome to, and thank you so much for your support always. I see some other people. I may not be able to mention everybody by name. I see Professor Dukoya. I saw Mr. Toba on here, Mr. Toba Akmalad here. I saw Mrs. Ogun is here. I saw some Professor Odukoya, Professor Biano Odukoya, Unilag is here. I see some other people, and I guess, we'll do the introductions further along the line to allow more people to come. And thank you to our esteemed panelists. Thank you to the immediate past president of NAPE is here, Mrs. Patricia Ochogbu. We're hailing you and saying a warm welcome to you. There is, of course, we have our indefatigable Tubosun, Mrs. Atobiloye. Thank you very much for coordinating. We have Mrs. Sindiku, we have Mrs. Akwawa, we have Chioma, Mrs. Okafor. We also have, of course, our presenter, the Mr. Frank Fido, is going to do he's going to give us the main presentation for today. And of course, we're hoping that he will start a conversation and we will all have an opportunity to chime in to today's conversations. So I'm going to just hold on the introductions. I've just mentioned a few names, but hopefully as more people join, we'll get the opportunity to welcome them in and just mention their names and recognize them. So I'm going to hand it over back now to Mrs. Atobiloye and to Tubosun. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. My apologies, I'm echoing. Oh my goodness. I'm going to leave this one. Okay, just so we can observe the right protocol, thank you, Mrs. Ojelabi, for opening the session. I mean, this is your session. But I'd like to also call on the presence of Mrs. Patricia Ochogbu, like you mentioned, our immediate past president of NAPE. The president of NAPE, Dr. James Edet, is unable to make it to this event to give a welcome and open speech because he is currently landing at Port Harcourt right now for the Leadership Forum. And he would like that Mrs. Ochogbu helps to convey his warmest wishes. So I'd just like that she opens the session on that note before we then proceed. You're muted, ma'am. You're muted.
Sorry. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm WiGE welcome from me. And on behalf of the NAPE president, Dr. James Edet, we are delighted to be part of this event today. WiGE is a big, strong part of NAPE, and we look forward to all the great things that we are going to be able to be doing together. I am a proud WiGErian, and I'm happy to be here in my own personal recognition, as well as representing NAPE, our umbrella organization. Welcome, and I wish us all a very fruitful deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. At this point, I just want to take the cue from what you have said and say, up WiGErians, yay. So that's a new one, WiGErian. You are very welcome. God bless you, Ma. I think I just want to move right along and observe a health and wellness moment. And for that, we'll be calling on Ms. Jumoke Akingpelu to take that session. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me and see my screen.
We can hear you. We can see your screen clearly.
Okay, fantastic. Happy International Women's Day again. And I don't have much time. It's just 5 minutes, but hopefully we'll get the gist of what we are trying to pass across today in terms of dimensions of wellness. You know, as women, we are the backbone of the home and society, and everything revolves around us. We take care of others, but hardly do we pause and think of taking care of our health and wellness. We give, but then we don't replenish, and it's not good because eventually it will run out and then we won't be able to do our role as women. So wellness is beyond physical health or a healthy body. You can be physically fit, but the emotional fitness might be lacking, you know? So when we say wellness, this is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis for us to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. So you're not just surviving as a woman, you're actually thriving. So on the screen, you see 8 dimensions of wellness that experts have identified, and they're all interrelated. And what we've been advised to do is for us to have a self-care plan in place to take care of ourselves and understand how these 8 dimensions are interrelated. They're on the screen: intellectual, physical, social, spiritual, financial, vocational. Some people also call it career, environmental, and emotional. So what exactly can we do? So we need to have a plan in place and hold ourselves accountable to achieving those objectives. For instance, you can have a weekly, monthly, and annual self-care plan. And what does that mean? You know, simply for, say, take the financial aspect dimension, just being sure to be living within your means, checking that monthly and being sure that you are not overdoing things gives you this wellness, you know, because you are not thinking of how you pay your bills because they are too much, or pay some debt you've run over, or just the spiritual part, you know, find meaning in life events, you know, what keeps you spiritually fit? You have to define that. And it could just be physical, you know, taking care of your body, joining a health club, if that is what a plan that you want to have, and make sure that at least twice a week or 3 times a week, you want to be going to the gym or doing something to keep you physically fit. So that's just an example. So we can utilize our support system to hold us accountable. It could be your spouse, it could be a family member or a trusted friend who can make you be accountable for those goals that you've set for yourself. And what do you know? As women, once our wellness is improved, it will also improve our ability to thrive and keep up with our commitment in the home and outside of the home. So we need to stay focused and try to meet our wellness goal so that we are well balanced and it's just not being physically healthy. So finally, just go online. There are resources to help us stay focused and achieve our wellness goal. So thank you. That's what I want to pass across today.
Thank you very much. Very short and very, very impactful. Thank you very, very much. I'm sure we have all gained something from that short talk. I think we're just moving straight along, and we're going to invite Mrs. Ojelabi at this point to come and just, you know, take us through a quick review of our 10 years anniversary, just looking back to our 10 years anniversary. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Atobiloye. Can I have the slide, please?
Yes, please. Just give me a second, sorry. Can you see the slides? Can you see my share?
Very busy year for WiGE.
Can you see?
It's coming.
Oh, wow.
I believe it's coming, but I can also speak to it. 2021 was an exceptional year for WiGE. We, from the beginning, right from March all the way to November, December, we were very busy all through the year. So for starters, in March 2021, we kickstarted our activities with the International Women's Day. And of course, we know the theme for the International Women's Day was Choose to Challenge. And that was also in line with our theme for the year, which was, thank you very much, Mrs. Atobiloye, thank you, I see the screen now. It was in line with our theme for the year, which was Empower, Grow, and Thrive. That was key to all our programs and all of the things that we did last year for WiGE reflected that same theme, to not only choose to challenge, but to empower ourselves to grow our skills, whether they were our personal skills or professional skills. And then we wanted to thrive within the space that we occupied. And the very first meeting we had was, we had the speakers were Mrs. Patuchogu, Mrs. Rosendong, Dr. Shonuga, Dr. Stella Shonuga, Mrs. Doris Apowa. They shared with us some of the tools we needed to do just that, to empower ourselves, grow, and to thrive. In April, we had a Learn WiGE event, which was a technical training where our members were part of a machine learning and approach to lithology interpretation in wells. That's one of our technical skills that we partnered with NAPE, and WiGE actually sponsored some members to attend as well. We had a steering committee presentation also in April with the Nigerian Content Monitoring Board, the NCCF, that's the Nigerian Content Consultative Forum. Their diversity group had a roundtable discussion, and we made a presentation within the women's groups at that event. And that has led to some collaborations across the board with other groups like ours to see how our members and women generally and women-led companies can actually take advantage of some of the initiatives that NCDMB is putting together in the oil industry space. Next, of course, we had a Fun Week event in May, and that was about personal finance and investments. I learned some things about cryptocurrencies that I didn't know before. Thank you to Learn WiGE. And we had Mr. Olugbenga Onifade of the Wealth Hackers actually take a very comprehensive class. And some of us actually took an additional class in personal finance after that event. In June, we had a technical webinar, and that was about the energy transition that Dr. Niyi Aikulola, who is a project geophysicist with Shell, actually, delved a little bit in the energy transition. We are all talking about energy transition, and it's really sometimes difficult for us to know, in Nigeria, we're dealing with the conventionals, and it was kind of, okay, so where do we fit into all these changes and all the things that are happening now? Where do we fit into all of this? So that was a very useful session because we learned about some of the skills that we need in the forthcoming transition. Then in October, we had another Fun Week event where because it's our 10th year anniversary, we actually had a logo challenge, and the winner, there was a prize giving award ceremony during our actual 10th year anniversary in December. Also in October, we had the Career Day webinar for secondary schools by Inspire WiGE. We had this, it was a virtual panel session where geoscientists from different walks, some from the academia in solid minerals, from the oil industry, actually came together to talk about geosciences and the different options that are available in such a wide discipline for students who are interested in becoming geoscientists. We had, of course, Mrs. Jumoke Akinpelu and Mrs. Apowa coordinated that. And Mrs. Undong, Mrs. Marcelli, we had Chief Umwachuku, Professor Ajayi, all members of the panel, and they were happy to take questions. And we had some schools actually participating in that session. It was very, very rewarding, just listening to the questions and having our panelists share their experiences and, making it clear to the students that yes, there are options and, there's a future career in geoscience. For Learn WiGE in November, they put up a technical training and part of the NAPE virtual field trip. If you were part of that, I'm sure you understand and you can testify to how rich that session was. Quite a lot of the things and places that we are not able to go, maybe because of security concerns or other concerns, this field trip, the virtual field trip, was a total package, interactive, and I'm sure we all gained from that. The last event was celebrating our 10th year anniversary. Of course, that's a milestone for us in WiGE. Been 10 years, the time has really gone by very, very quickly, and we celebrated with Mrs. Priscilla Eleje. She's the first female director of CBN Currency Operations, and we also had as our speaker, Mrs. Eloho Aibani, the MD. She's the first female MD of Shell, of SNEPCO, and they were on the panel and celebrated with us. And we learned a lot of things. And one of the fallouts of that session is our theme for this year. I'm not going to say it yet. I'm going to wait until the appropriate time. But our theme for this year, 2022, is one of the learnings from that 10th year anniversary. And that was the handiwork of Connect WiGE, and that was really awesome, putting all of us together in the same room. And it was a very empowering moment. It was a very moving moment for me to see us achieve that milestone. So thank you very much to all our teams with the Digital WiGE and Learn WiGE and Fund WiGE, Connect WiGE, Inspire WiGE, and all the teams. As you've seen, everybody put in something for last year. And so WiGE was able to do a lot of things. And we're looking forward to the same collaboration this year. Our teams are going to talk a little bit about what's they're planning for this year. So I'm going to hand it over back now to Mrs. Atobilori. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very, very much. Very succinctly put, you have just been able to show us so many things that has happened within such a short time. Thank you very much. It's actually exciting for those younger people who are in here today. I hope you are excited. I mean, so much is happening. So many serious people are coming together to ensure that you are properly prepared for tomorrow. I mean, it's the place to be, pretty much. Thank you very much, Ma. We're now going to the, well, I know Tubosun had already mentioned that we're not doing just the break the bias. That's not the only focus. But here it is. We want to talk about breaking the bias, the unconscious biases that we deal with. And we have taken a bit of a different twist, and we are bringing our own very Mr. Frank Fido. Whereas in other places, it's Mrs. Miss that are doing the talks. But here, we're bringing somebody who, by himself and by his association with WiGE, has already broken the bias. I mean, if there was one person that can talk about breaking bias, I think Mr. Fido is the one that qualifies. Join me as I welcome Mr. Frank Fido to take us through a presentation on breaking the bias. You're welcome, sir. Are you there, Mr. Fido? Yes. Okay. Are you trying to unmute?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. So
all right,
we should be seeing you. You have muted again.
Okay. Am I on now?
Yes, you are. You are. So I'm just gonna spotlight you. You are.
I'm muted again. He's muted again. Please unmute Mr. Fido and speak. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, distinguished and delectable ladies of WiGE. I heard a new terminology today. I called WiGerians. WiGerians. Thank you for this invitation extended to me.
You are muted again. Unmute, and we can't see your video. You are muted.
Okay.
Okay.
The host muted me.
Oh, okay. Okay. The host has muted you again. Who is this host that is muting you?
I didn't mute you. You are muted again. Okay.
He's
Let me
muted.
unmute you. Because we can't hear you.
Okay, you are unmuted.
All right. Okay, so I've been given 10 minutes to speak, and I'll try to do as much as I can do in that 10 minutes time frame. Next, let me just start by saying that unconscious bias is the topic we're talking about tonight, not uncommon bias. I guess that's an error from the time we're trying to translate the slides. So women in geoscience and engineering, I just thank you for this honor and this privilege. And I just hope that are going to be of use to this honorable association. As I should just say this now, Mrs. Marcelli sends her regards. She's unable to be here tonight, but she says she's with us in spirit. All right, so I'm going to speak on unconscious bias, and this year's campaign theme for IWD. By the way, happy IWD to you, ladies. This year's campaign theme, Break the Bias, spotlights the individual and collective biases against women that propel gender inequality. This year's theme also focuses on women in the context of climate change. And that's why the United Nations chose the theme, Gender Equality for a Sustainable Tomorrow. If tomorrow is going to be sustained, it's in the hands of women. And that is why women and girls experience the greatest impacts of the climate crisis, and as it amplifies existing gender inequalities, and it puts the lives of women and children and their livelihoods at risk. Next slide. I'll try to be fast. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Okay.
Yes.
Tubosun, you are going to have to stop sharing if I would share the slide. Or you just click to the next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Thank you.
Now, across the world, women depend more, and yet they have less access to natural resources. And they often bear a disproportionate responsibility for securing food, water, and fuel. If you watch all those documentaries we see in sub-Saharan Africa, it is women that go to the farms to fetch water and they do such hard labor. They're the ones who do the grunge work. And that is why women are essential to leading and driving change in climate adaptation, climate mitigation, and its solutions. I saw a video where women were trying to adapt cooking methods using modern technologies like from cooking firewood to adapting to cooking with stoves and gas cookers, even in rural areas. So according to the United Nations, without the inclusion of half of the world's population, it is unlikely that solutions for a sustainable planet and a gender equal world will be realized, talking about tomorrow. In other words, women constitute about half of the world population. And UN is saying that without their efforts, without their inputs, it's unlikely that the solutions for a better tomorrow will be realized. Now, we're talking about unconscious bias tonight. Now, whether unconscious or deliberate, biases would affect the careers of women. It will affect their homes. It will affect their personal lives. We are talking about unconscious bias tonight. Next slide. Next slide. Now, what is unconscious bias? What do you mean we talk about? From the word unconscious, it means you don't even know that bias exists. Now, unconscious bias, also known as implicit bias, is a preference for certain qualities in some other person. It's also a disinclination towards certain qualities in another person. In other words, it's like a mark that there's something in a person within you that attracts you to a person or detracts you from a person. Now, unconscious bias is a learned assumption. It's a learned belief or attitude that exists in the subconscious. You don't even know it is there, but it's somewhere lurking in your subconscious. All of us have these biases, and we use them as mental shortcuts for faster information processing. In other words, we want to make a judgment call. So those biases are those things we use to make those judgment calls. Now, people can have biases, either they're conscious of them, meaning that either they're aware of those biases or those prejudices, or they are also unconscious, meaning that they're not aware of them. Now, while conscious bias or discrimination is generally regarded as a bad thing, or sometimes it's even illegal, especially in the workplace, it is often easy to recognize and to address. Next slide. Now, but uncommon or unconscious biases, it can be very difficult to spot with an untrained eye. It takes a trained eye to spot uncommon biases. Most of the times, you don't even know that they are there. Now, how do we see them? They are cloaked in things like this person does not fit culturally, this person does not fit situationally, this person does not have the adequate experience, or this person, if you employ him or her, the person will be a low risk employment task. Now, unconscious bias develops over time as we experience. As we go through life, we develop these tendencies to have unconscious bias. And it happens because as we go in life, we get exposed to different types of stereotypes. Now, uncommon or unconscious bias encompasses both favorable and unfavorable assessments, and it is activated without us knowing and without an individual's awareness or intentional control. So as a result, unconscious bias can have a big influence on our beliefs and behaviors. In other words, it can have an effect on our professional lives. It can have an effect on the way we hire employees. It can have an effect on the way we interact with our colleagues in the office, and it can affect the way we make business judgments and business decisions. Now, if we don't properly address these biases, they can come around to bite us. If we don't properly address them in the workplace, they can impact a company's workplace culture and even team dynamics. Next slide. Now, there is a gamut of unconscious, there are different types of unconscious biases, about 19 of them or more. And I will just run through them because of time. The first one I'll talk about for us as women, well, for you as women, I'm a man, is the gender bias. Some time ago, I called a taxi. I think it was Bolt or Uber. I placed a call to book a cab, a ride. And when the person on the other end answered, it was a female voice I heard. And when she showed up, it was indeed a female. I was surprised because it's uncommon to find females driving Ubers and those kind of taxis. So when I got into the cab, I got on talking with the driver, and she was very, very thankful. She said, Oga, thank you for not canceling the call. I said, why? And she said, because most riders who are males, when they find out that the driver is a female like herself, they cancel the order. I said, really? She said, yes. That especially some kind of demographics of males, when they find out that the driver is a female, they cancel the order. And she was thankful that I didn't cancel. Now, this kind of stereotypes, this kind of gender bias is what leads females to what we call the feminization of labor or the feminization of poverty. So because of those kind of gender biases, women end up taking low-paying jobs, or they are paid little for the kind of jobs they do because of the stereotypes that it's only those kind of jobs that men do. So gender bias can be very, very terrible in that regard. The other kind is ageism, which is discrimination based on age. There's also name bias. Let me have
Are we losing him?
Yes, for now we have lost.
Oh, it looks like we have lost him. Look like we've lost him. Yes. I'm sure he'll be trying to call back, right? But in the meantime, he's talking about gender biases, and he was just going through the 19. I think we'll just give him maybe like 1 minute and then for 2 minutes.
I think it's also safe to say here that if people have thoughts, questions, comments, experiences to share, they can also put that on the chat. And if they have questions, they can put it on the Q&A so that when he joins and we continue, it'll be a good place to start.
Yeah, that's a good one. So if you look on the pane, there's a Q&A box. So you can just dump your questions there. And if you do have thoughts, please raise up your hands. If you have any comment, does anybody have thoughts on this? Raise up your hands and then we can take your thoughts in the meantime. Right? Well, let me just say, I would just share an experience, the experience he shared. And it was an experience I also had with regards to, it was a cabbie. We had gotten into the airport in New York, and actually we were missing a flight. We had gone to the wrong airport. My daughter's friend, and then this lady pops out. You know, we went out and we called, and the lady just pops out. And she was the cabbie. Then Ubers were not really, and she came out. I don't think we called. I think it was this line turn by turn. And she came and from when she picked us until she took us to the next airport, which it was not too far off. She was sharing her experience of how difficult it was for her to be a cabbie in that place, and for me it was really like, what? One would think that if she was one woman trying to take care of her kids and doing all of this amongst men, you would think that they would, she would get more help. But apparently, no. I don't know, there must have been that a woman should not be here. What are you doing here? And, she had to struggle for passengers. So she was grateful to us, even though we didn't even know that we were doing anything. We didn't even do anything, Somebody's hand is up. Yes. Please, hold on. Let me figure out whose hand is up. Right. Julian, please go ahead and speak.
Good evening. Yeah, yes. My name is Juliana.
Juliana, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm a geologist with Petrobras before, but now Prime Oil and Gas.
Okay.
Been working as a geologist for 15, 16 years now. So I think this story isn't too far from what we experience in the industry. And I'm much relaxed because we are women in oil and gas. And we tend to see a lot of women leave the geoscience because it's like there's a wall that you just don't understand. You check in different companies, you don't see a lot of women in geoscience again. A lot of women are leaving and going to either HR or they just want to do something different. So it's because of this bias. Of course, when you speak out, they are like, no, it's not because of anything. There's no bias. It's just, in fact, I had a very serious discussion with some guys in geoscience on the International Women's Day, where they were saying, why do you women expect to be given all those positions you are asking for? When out of 10 years, or you've worked in the company for 15 years, you've done 4 years as maternity leave, you've done some days in the month, you are not okay. Why do you think? And I was trying to tell them, I said, see, women, we are wired differently. We are very productive. That is the way we are wired. And so this bias still exists in the oil and gas. And as I was listening to Mr. I think, is it Felix or Fibo?
Frank.
Yes, I was thinking, yes. So what is WiGE doing about it? I'm sorry, I've not been on the platform. I didn't even know about WiGE. I'm just hearing for the first time today, honestly. So in my mind, I'm like, so what are we doing, to help younger, geologists and geoscientists that are coming up, engineers? What are we doing to help them so that this thing will not be the same with what we are experiencing? So it exists. We don't even need to talk about CAP. In the office, it exists. So please,
Right.
listen. Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much for your comments, and thank you for your final question. I have a question though. Were you here at the beginning when Mrs. Ojelabi, showed, did a reflective
Yes, please.
journey
I
of
was
our
here.
last 1 year? So
Yes,
a
please.
lot of these efforts are being made to demystify the difficult picture in the eyes of the young ones. There's a team here that actually goes to schools. You would have heard a bit of that. A lot of work, even this conversation that's happening right now, is just bringing this conversation to the table. And it's not only because it's International Women's Day. These are the kind of conversations we have, but beyond just the talk, a lot of work is being done. And you are very welcome on board. I'm sure you are joining WiGE after this. Correct?
Yes, of course. I am. I've even sent my number to be included. Not just for the young ones coming in school, even for the ones in the office. A lot of geoscientists are frustrated. They just want to leave. So please, let's help.
Oh, fantastic. Great to have you. Okay, so if you allow me, I'll just quickly flip through his slides until he can join. So effects of unconscious bias. Unconscious biases can lead to skewed judgments. They do lead to skewed judgments. Very often you've already closed out on the person before the person even gets a chance to start. Reinforce stereotypes, and they do more harm at the end of the day for the organizations, for individual psyches, for families, even for families, and also, obviously, when it comes to recruitment and decision, that's in the organization. A manager with unconscious biases can be real trouble because he deals with the people he's managing based on the empires. Those, I call them empires of the mind. Those strongholds in the mind that sometimes he's not even conscious of, and he's not even having the conversation because he doesn't believe he's doing anything, So they have the potential to lead to arbitrary advantages for some and disadvantages for others. And then also less than optimal to poor interpersonal relationships because they're just a block. No matter what this person does, meanwhile, this person is reminding you of something that is a no-go, and that person just suffers for it. Obviously, with women, there are just certain things you can't go. This woman cannot, since she's a woman, she can't, Missed opportunities to learn perspectives, opinions, and insights from diverse individuals. Very often you just think, especially with women carry so much inside of them. And when they are not given a chance, they just suffer. Take it even to the home. A husband that doesn't listen to his wife tends to suffer a lot because that wife is coming with another perspective that is always, most of the time, there to help, Lack of organizational diversity, including lack of diversity at leadership levels. Yes, even when you can count a few female heads there, if those heads are put there out of just politics, then you don't even allow them, to express themselves. Inability of some employees to advance upward in an organization through no fault of theirs and for no reasons unrelated to their own work performance, just because somebody else is thinking somewhere. And that person is not even conscious of the fact that he's thinking that way. Low morale, high turnover. My sister Juliana, you just talked about turnover, about the women not even wanting to stay. For those who suspect they are on the receiving end of negative biases. Low productivity from those who suspect they are on the receiving end of same biases, right? And then discrimination complaints. Look at all this picture. I mean, it's just all so negative. At the end of the day, there's a book that I read. It said contented cows produce better milk, right? And it was a study they did somewhere in America. At the end of the day, if you keep these women, they end up, and sometimes you find out that some employers can really point out and say, See the woman that you're talking about now, she's not even productive. Why would she be productive when she was already unconsciously labeled from the beginning? Can you take us to the next slide, please? And then I think the next one will be, managing unconscious bias. It says if we are vigilant in terms of managing unconscious bias. But let me just mention also that one of the biggest culprits of unconscious bias with women is women. A lot of us just carry some kind of biases. We just think, you know what, I'm a woman, I can't, you know. I shared the story of taking a training. There was a particular training I took, and, you know, we broke them into groups. And there was this woman just sitting there and saying, Mr. Sam, come, you people come to my group, I beg. You know, you are. And then when we gave them some things to do, she said, you know, I'm a woman, you people do it. I said, that's such a detrimental statement to make, because we're not asking you to carry a house on your head. We're talking about brain work. So what you are saying is that as a woman, you can't do brain work, you know? So managing unconscious biases, if we are vigilant, we can reduce the influence of bias on our decisions. Just as one can overcome physical habits such as biting one's fingernails, one can be deliberate enough to suppress undesirable mental habits, such as gender bias, through deliberate and conscious strategies. Denial that bias exists, that's a major one. It gives it more power. So even as we all speak, even as I have just spoken about unconscious bias, even with women, I must subject myself to say, okay, haven't said that about them. What about me? What unconscious biases do I carry? First, recognize your bias to overcome it with deliberate practices that suppress its effects. Okay? And then the male perspective, I wish Mr. Fido was here to talk about the male perspective. Okay, I'll read it on his behalf. Misandry is the hatred of and of contempt for or prejudice against men. It is the asymmetrical counterpart of misogyny. Misogyny, I didn't know these words. Men have traditionally defined their manhood by their roles, by the functions that they perform for their families and societies. Some men can't allow women to drive them, as an example. However, there has been a major shift in the role of men, males and females. Males and females are in a state of gender upheaval and confusion. Men who work in female-dominated industries need to be respected. Respect for each individual's autonomy is critical, as each individual has a right to contribute. Can we take the next slide, please? In conclusion, these are quotes. No struggle can ever succeed without women participating side by side with men. There are two powers in the world. One is the sword and the other is the pen. There is a third power stronger than both, and that's of women. I love this. Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. Okay, so that takes us to the end of Mr. Fido's presentation. On that note, I think we will just move right along. And at this point, we're going to be looking at taking photographs. And it's the photo wall. And I'm going to be inviting Oludolapo Oyawale to take us through.
Mrs. E,
yes,
can we have maybe a couple of minutes to take any feedback or any questions or interactions?
All right. I thought because we took one in between. So let's go ahead.
If I may start.
Okay, good.
If I may start, I heard some part of the conversation was about women being the most critical or the most biased against other women. And, you know, in my years of experience, I have found the complete opposite in my experience, which is, so my strongest professional motivators and champions have been women. The times I've had the best performance results, at least in my early years, have been women. They understand where I'm coming from. And as long as I think that you are not seen to be taking advantage of gender, I think these days we tend, as long as you're in a professional environment, of course, and you are professional, I haven't seen having a female boss for me, it has not been detrimental at all. So I don't know if other people share my view. I think that, you know, it's really a question of how professional are you also coming to the workspace? Are you trying to take advantage, undue advantage, or are you just doing your job, getting in there and just doing your job like you would, whether you were talking to a male boss or a female boss? So that's a very interesting conversation, I think, that we can have. What have other people experienced? Having female supervisors, for example, have they been biased?
Let's take comments and contributions on these ones. But by the way, the point I made, I don't know, maybe Mr. Fido made that point, the point you're talking to, but the point I made is women tend to be critical of themselves. That's what I meant by culprits. But that point you're raising is a very common conversation. It's a big narrative out there. Women are the ones that kill each other. You know, that's how they put it. So let's talk about it really. I have seen women sponsor each other so greatly, and that is even showing these days even more now. But does anybody have any experience in this regard? Anybody wants to speak to that? Yes, Juliana. Thank you. Please go ahead. I'm just going to ask you to
hope I'm
unmute.
not.
Sorry?
You're much talking this evening. Yeah, sorry. For me, I've not had the privilege of having a female boss because. Hello?
Yes, you can go on now.
Okay, I've not been privileged to have a female boss because, as I said, I'm a geologist, and for my 15, 16 years, I've always had a male boss until recently when I have a female boss. So I don't see the difference. The only thing I saw was for the male bosses being my boss, I don't bring my being a woman to the front of my job. Of course, as geologists, we are even always very stronger, and you know, it is like a male-dominated profession. So we are always in the forefront, wanting to do things, wanting to take responsibility, wanting to do it. But I had a boss that I had a challenge sometimes, and when I saw that it wasn't welcoming, like there was no reason why I should come to the office at 7:30 or 7:35 when the office was resuming at 7:30 because I was going to drop the kids or whatever. So, but when he saw that even for coming in maybe 5-10 minutes late, I was going to stay 1 hour, 2 hours later. I was going to sacrifice my break to make sure I'm doing the job. I'm meeting up. It was even the person that walked up to me and like, Madam, I think I've been too hard on you. Please, you can take your time and everything. So I think even when we have the first speaker or the person that spoke earlier before I did recognize, you don't bring your feminism into your job. I know there are things peculiar to us as women. You don't want to come to work 10 o'clock and leave 2 o'clock because you are a woman. You know, but it was very firm for me. If I come to work early, when it's time to close, I need to go, you know, except it is very critical, which I know those are things men, they take advantage over us because as a man comes to work 7 a.m., is ready to leave the office 10 p.m. because he does not even want to go home. But I, as a woman, I can't do that. But for the time that I'm working, I make sure I put in my best and do my work within that period, within that time.
Yes.
I'm very firm, I'm very concentrating. As a woman, not taking time to always go to other seats to go and cheese, to go and do this because you are a woman. So I think as women in geoscience and engineering, let's keep that woman thing behind us and try to, within the few hours we have to work, and do our work very professional and very, productive. Thank you.
I would even say that thing you call the woman thing. That's gist and talk. We should even change that narrative. We all gist, we all talk, but we being labeled as the people who, do small talks and all of that, that can even still change, and I totally
I know
agree
the guys,
with you.
The guys gist and do the same, but the label it on us women. That is
They label it, so that's the point. They label it, so we shouldn't promote that label. It's the same narrative that you ladies are debunking right now. That narrative that, oh, women don't know how to help each other. They are the ones killing each other. That is a strong narrative out there, which can be changed, which is already, it's becoming obvious now that women are even fighting and, helping each other also. But I totally agree with you that you are a woman doesn't become an excuse not to do things right, and that you don't put your womanhood in front and make it an alibi not to be professional, So I totally agree with you on that. And so your boss even knows at a point that, listen, at the end of the day, this person is offering me value, because at the end of the day, it's really the value that you bring, Thank you very much. We have two hands one hand has been up since. I'll take that one hand and then perhaps we'll move. Mrs. Ruth, I'll ask you to unmute. Please go ahead, unmute. I'm lowering your hands and I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Chigbo, I was not seeing you.
I have a few comments and also a question. And my question is, my comment first is the fact that we have, personally for me, I had more of my motivation from women, and but I was able to observe something when it comes to motivation from far end. I think women are doing very much there but when you come to motivation from close end, they are not doing so well because they hardly had time to mentor other women. So you only see what they do from afar. You hardly had time to have a close relationship with them. They hardly have your time when it comes to mentorship. So I think it's something we need to also address on in terms of mentoring the young ones that is coming up, because most women, yes, this woman has break the bars, is doing this, but sometimes when you get to try to come close to such women, come close to them to get mentorship, they tend not to have your time other than the men when you want to seek for mentorship. So that's my comment and question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. As thankfully we have Mr. Fido back in the house. Sir, I hand over to you. Please just respond to this last one and then we can close this particular session. Thank you very much for being able to log back in. You're welcome.
Okay, I must apologize. I was at a place where the connectivity was very, very poor. Well, I think you answered the question when you spoke about women to women and that they should change the narrative that women are their own worst enemies. I think that concept is changing. I think 2 years ago, in one of our sessions, that issue was thoroughly brought to the surface and it was discussed. And the instances were shown where women have really helped women. But I think the thing about mentoring for women and the reason why women take certain kinds of jobs is because of the fact of their nature, their mothers. So they take jobs that are near their homes, and they take jobs that probably are gender specific. And then because of the demands of the home and other demands, they probably don't have time to do things like mentoring.
Yeah.
And the mentoring will also require a location. Sometimes it becomes difficult when sometimes the men mentor each other at the club level when they go out drinking. Even at such informal places, mentoring takes place. And those kind of hangouts don't happen with women. So sometimes maybe women will be intentional about creating avenues or platforms where the mentoring exercise can take place. But I'm happy that NAPI has a program called the Mentoring Cycle, and it's a very robust one. And from what I saw, they've been mentoring across industry sectors and different segments of the industry. So that you can take advantage of that, of NAPI's mentoring cycle. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this session. I don't know, we don't have the ability to clap on this screen. I would have said, let us clap. It's been really, really wonderful. Thank you so much. Very rich, rich presentation you put out there.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I apologize for the network failure, please. I really apologize.
It's not you. No, it's not you. We all have network failures. We are not in control. We are not MTN or Swift. Okay, so moving
Mrs.
right
Can
along.
we have the last person? Mrs. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Mrs. Ogun has her hand up. Can we take her as the last person?
Okay.
So sorry about that.
All right. Please go ahead, unmute and speak, and please make it brief, please. I'm sorry, because we are running out of time. Please unmute and speak. Yes.
Yeah. What I just have to contribute is about women's self-bias. A lot of women actually created their own self-bias because of their personality type. Because some women have strong personality. And in having that, others around them cannot handle that type of personality. And until they can actually show their personality to people around them, that despite they have a strong personality, they should not tag them. That is, she has to break that self-bias about her own self to other people around her, because it goes a long way. Because others see you, but you cannot see yourself. And once they start complaining about your strong personality, mixing it with your technical know-how, then you should go the extra mile to prove to them that they should not mix your personality and your professionality or your technical know-how with your person. So that bias still needs to be broken in workplaces, because it causes a lot of bias, even women to women, it does. So we don't know how we can handle that, and through discussions and the like.
All right, Mr. Fido, do you want to speak to this, please?
Okay, about the issue of self-bias.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of unconscious bias, and some of them are self-inflicted. Such kind of bias may arise from the fact that when a woman is a strong personality in the office, it is seen as she's, I don't want to use that word, but if it's a man, it goes unnoticed. The truth of the matter is that if we must have an inclusive society and one where we want to look at making progress, then all shades or all manners of temperaments should be accommodated in the workplace. But the point of this is that if anybody has any kind of bias, either conscious or unconscious, the first place to start is to recognize that that bias is there and make intentional efforts to correct them. Because when you find out that it's easy, you first of all look inwards. There's a difference between having a strong personality and having a brash personality. Sometimes it's how these things are communicated. And most of the time is that when women are strong and assertive, men feel that threatened. Men are threatened by so many things at the workplace, So the point is this: if you are standing on your principles, and as long as you are not breaking any ethics, then you can go ahead with that kind of personality type. But the first thing to look at is, as in any kind of bias, is to look inwards and see if indeed there are things that you need to look at and correct going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, Mrs. Ogun, you wrapped up by saying you don't know if we will have conversations or discussions over this, how to approach it. So many issues indeed fall under that description. There are just so many things that are coming out. But I guess the first step is to bring them out, and then we'll begin to pick the ones we can work on. Thank you very much. So we move right along, and At this point, let me just welcome you and to take this next session very quickly. I had already done that intro before. Okay. Please unmute. Yeah. Yes, please.
Everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. Cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, I'm on the road, so I'll still put on my video.
Okay.
Can you see me now? Oh, it has been disabled, so I can't use it. But anyways, this is the International Women's Day 2022 photo wall designed by my humble self. We can do more, be more, and do more. You can see different women, different shades, different specialization, all aiming for
Are we missing?
the same goal, breaking the bias.
Okay. Can we hear her?
Right now, we can't.
It's breaking.
It's breaking, yes.
Network.
Okay, not a problem. Let me help the Dolapo there.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay, she's back on. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So all aiming for the same goal, breaking the bias, challenging all the stereotypes. And if we all decide to share our experiences of this bias, it's going to take the whole day. I personally have mine. I'm the only female in my department, and it has not been easy, but we're working towards it, and we're going to continue to break that bias, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So I want to appreciate all those that shared their pictures. You're all the superheroes, you're the real legends. Just keep doing the real work that you're doing, and success is just an understatement. You're going to get to the peak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this takes us to the next, the WiGE theme reveal. Tubosun, please just come on and let's move on with this. I think I'll let you do it. You do this very well anyway.
Okay, so I don't like the way this thing is removing my head like I'm bowed.
It's like you're acting. It's like you're acting. Like
I'm positioning properly. All right,
like
so
you're acting home video and you're vanishing.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we're here, and I'm not really going to waste your time, because you and maybe most of us on this call were a part of this. You know how we went around asking everyone to submit suggestions for the theme for the year, and we had 3 of it, which was pioneering again. One of well, I wouldn't want to mention the 3 because we've agreed on 1, but to just give a bit of thought process as to how this came to be. You know, coming from last year where we had our theme, and then getting into the 10th year, it was important to ask ourselves, what is it that we want to carry forward as a vision or maybe a pseudo mission for WiGE, WiGErians, you know, the acronyms are getting many now. And then the team suggested, the team being the WiGE group on the WhatsApp chat, and we all arrived at this very funky and forward-looking theme. So our theme for this year is be more and do more. And why do we have to be more and do more? And I'm just going to share a couple of things to make us think about this beyond just it being a phrase to what our expectations are personally and professionally. Be more, do more. So I have these 3 chatbots that kind of resonates when you think about why should you do more? You know, we've talked about unconscious bias. Last year was around parity. And if you go each year backwards around International Women's Day, there is something around empowering women to become, to get into who they are. So this year, we are not going to talk a lot. It says less talk and more do. And every day we wake up, the challenge is for us to be more than average. The challenge is for us to be better than we were yesterday. The challenge is for us to, just ensure that everything that we do is around, I'm going to have to remove this background. I don't like the way it's dealing with me. I'm not comfortable looking at myself that way. So the important thing is waking up every day and waking up stronger than we are or we were a day before. Do more than belong. And this is very specific around what we do at WiGE or WiGE. There's so many of us that have chosen to be silent. This is not the year for silence. Do more than belong, participate, do more than care, help, do more than believe, practice, do more than be fair, be kind. And this speaks to one of the DE&I issues. Equity is about being more than fair. It's about really being kind. Being kind when you give feedback, being kind when you take feedback, being kind when you support women to grow, whether they are in the room or out of the room. And if their journey do not even look like yours, I tell you, it doesn't make their journey less than yours. Be more than forgive, forget, and be more than dream. Do the work. Do the work because the world is getting into a stage where it is work, hard work, more work, visible work that is being recognized. You're not going to do your work in a very quiet place and you expect that the world will just come to you. The world doesn't operate that way. The dynamics of visibility and rewards and recognition in the world is completely different. And we must all come to terms with that. The more we do, the more we can do. Strength comes from strength. Strength doesn't come from wishful thinking or from assuming that everybody knows what you can do. The more you do, the more you can do. So on a final note, our chat to everyone this year is that we are encouraging you while you're thinking of what can I do more of? What can I do? What should I do more of? Because I know that we have a varying age, a large range actually of women in geosciences. We have the student group, and then we have all my madams that are enjoying retirement right now, which we love. So we're asking that you please challenge yourself. Do something that you are extremely comfortable with. Do something that you are extremely uncomfortable with, and do something you want to see yourself become. And it's on that note I'd like to reveal, because I have revealed, of course, emphasize the reveal that this is our year of be more and do more. Thank you very much.
Can we all for a minute, it's just that we can't unmute. I would have said, let everybody say, be more and do more. But okay.
Be
That's
more
fine.
and do more.
Be more
That's
and
right.
do more.
And do more. Thank you. Thank you very much. Be more and do more. Okay, we move right along. At this point, we're going to be looking at the work plans for the year going forward. For this year, 2022, we're going to be calling on the different teams to come and talk to us about their work plans. And I would call first, I'll call you in, and then I'll expect you to use maybe like just 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes to just tell us about your work plans for the year. And so the very first one would be Mrs. Jumoke Ajayi. If you can just unmute and take us through the Connect WiGE activity plan.
So I'm standing in for Mrs. Jumoke Ajayi.
Okay.
Because she's actually right now in Uyo. She sent in her picture and she's on a field activity.
Okay.
For the Connect Week, the plan for the year is actually 2 focused events opened up also for collaboration, because we recognize that most of the activities that each of the group may put forward may be similar in some case. So the first event will be a mid-year career mentoring webinar and seminar. It's planned as a virtual event, and the focus will be to have both a roundtable with an industry mentor, female focused, of course, and speed mentoring. It's planned to take place between June and July, but to keep us going in the year, we will be having monthly book suggestions. We do not think that there is a big need for a review now, because if you have been listening to the chat box, women are extremely busy. So the more meeting you call, the more unavailable they become. So, or we become. So we are just going to be dropping monthly book for you to read, to be more and do more as we go along, before we then get into June and July, and then we have these events. And of course, I mean, the Connect team has never failed you when it comes to the annual conference. They keep bringing back to back every year. The annual conference is also being planned early. So what we don't want to reveal, or maybe to agree on, is who will be there. Because you see, last year it was just early. It just changed rightly, and we knew the person to bring. So it is the same thing that's going to happen this year, but expect to have top industry female representation. We recognize that the world is not going to go completely physical, so there will always be an element of hybrid in whatever it is that we do. And that's essentially what the Connect WiGE team has for you in this year, 2020. So be more, do more. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you take us to the next slide as we invite Mrs. Doris Akpowa, who will talk to us about Inspire WiGE. Mrs. Akpowa, if you can just unmute. Okay, you're already unmuted. You're welcome, ma. If you are speaking, I can't hear. Can we hear? Okay, so
we can't hear you, ma.
Aha. If you are speaking, we can't hear.
You are unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Maybe it's network.
It's possible.
Yes. So maybe for time's sake, we might go to Learn WiGE and then come back to Inspire WiGE. Maybe we can do that. Okay. So I think I don't know, Mrs. Akpowa, if you can hear me, we will, if you will forgive me to just quickly go to Mrs. Ochogbu for Learn WiGE, and then we'll come back. Hopefully your network will be better then. We'll come back.
She says, okay, take the next person and let me figure out. Yes.
Okay, fine. Please go ahead. Mrs. Okay. Patricia.
Yeah. Actually, Victoria
welcome,
is taking this.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is Victoria. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. Yes, very happy Women's Day, and this should be celebrated every day, by the way. So for this year, the Learn WiGE team is lined up.
We can't see you. We can't see you. Do you know what you might?
I have my camera, my video open though. It's
yes, I can see it struggling. So maybe what you want to do is, if you are comfortable with your background, you can take off the WiGE background, because there seems to be like a separation, a color separation going on. The network is creative.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, it's still doing that craziness, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, I mean, let's use what.
Maybe you remove the background.
Unstable. I think it's just the network.
Yeah, I think it's the network.
Yes, you can take it off. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me? Good still?
Yes.
Very well. Okay, so like I said, yes, for this year, the Learn WiGE team has lined up, taken the time to line up some activities that would excite and develop members. We have categorized them into two. We've got the technical plugin, and then we have the non-technical trainings. For the technical plugins, we will be collaborating with NAPE, our big umbrella, in organizing and participating in some of the short courses. We have some lined up for the second quarter and third quarter of the year. And then we would have a bigger collaboration, which has taken off already, to organize, facilitate, and ensure that the virtual field trip happens. Okay, we would be hoping that members would participate, bring full energy, because they stand to gain quite a lot. For this year, we are heading towards the Southern Benue Trough. As we progress, we would all be informed. Now, who says learning has to be all technical? They say an all-round individual with usable skills, whether technical, non-technical, remains a distinguished individual in all spheres of life. And that is why our team has gone that extra mile to work with, or at least identify opportunities with Nike Art Gallery, and that's the Olori Art Foundation, to ensure that we learn something different from technical. They have lined up 2-day, but with very flexible dates, a 2-day intensive batik training by the Adire patterns. I mean, we see that every day and everywhere, where women just go around, and even gentlemen wearing the Adire patterns for different stuff. It doesn't have to be even clothing. It could even be furniture and the likes. So we are saying, hey, why don't you learn some new? Why don't you step aside from technical and just learn some new? I understand some members have started registering the moment we sent out the link, and we're going to send out some more on all our platforms just so we encourage people. Okay, and the link will be pushed out immediately after today's engagement. We also have the art infusion that happens almost every time at Lekki Phase 1. We would share details, as you're seeing on the screen, to our members. And for a token, you just get to learn new skill set like no other. And while at it, you would have fun. But what we would advise that after doing all of that, do not forget to show off after the course. So we're saying, come all out, get engaged, enjoy, do more and be more. And at the end of the day, you would have yourself to be proud of. So that is pretty much what we plan to do this year, both technical and otherwise. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Okay. So I think Mrs. Akmowa, are you ready for us now?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
can you hear me
great.
now?
Fantastic.
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Yes, we can. Please come on.
Okay. All right. So for Inspire WiGE, this year, of course, we're all about do more, be more. And so we've added a couple of things to our annual program. So the first one on the list is we have a mentor-mentee program, which is going to kick off this quarter, second quarter of 2022. And the intention, of course, is to bring our young professionals on board with the older ones and get them to support the young ones, and then also have the younger ones also support even the younger ones. So this is meant to be a program that we want to run for the rest of the year. And we see that Connect WiGE is planning to do something like that as well. So the intention is for us to collaborate and see how we can make it work. Our own idea actually was to have it run all through the year and have a lot of offline activities with the mentor-mentee thing. And the intention, of course, was that people would actually have to sign up, because we know that for you to be ready to be mentored, you need to be serious about it. And for the mentors as well, we want to be sure that they actually carve out time to do it. And that's why we want people to be ready and be prepared to be in that program. So we're going to work out the modalities with Connect WiGE, and we'll see how we can run with that. The second item we have on our calendar is a book drive for tertiary institutions. This is going to kick off second quarter as well. The intention, of course, is to support the students who are in the universities to get access to Geoscience books. So we're going to be calling on members of NAPE and other professionals to support us with giving us books, which will be donated to the various universities. And the third one is our normal secondary school outreach. So this year, what we're intending to do is to extend it. Prior to this time, we were doing mainly the senior secondary schools, but now we want to take it from the JS3 level so that we can catch them even younger. And of course, that depends on the schools in question. Some schools may decide that they only want their senior secondary schools to participate, which is also fine. And this year we plan to do both hybrid and physical one. The last 2 years, we couldn't do the physical visits because of COVID, as you all know. But this year, since things are relaxing a little bit, we want to combine it. So we're going to have a hybrid event. And that is all from Inspire WiGE. We're open for questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So that takes us to the next one, which is WiGE Digital, Digital WiGE. And then I'm inviting Ms. Iyabo Sidiku to come and take us through this one. Iyabo, you are very welcome.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Let me share my screen for you.
Even without the slide, since I made it, I can remember what is there. Okay, so firstly, you will see two parts to the slide. On the right-hand side, you will see social media handles. We have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube sites are all up and running, as well as our website. Our website is up, but as it currently there's some reorganization going on and some updates. So, but it will be up again fully next week. So from the right, on the left-hand side, you will see a small spreadsheet that I did. I thought that rather than just waiting for there to be events, over the course of the year, there are a number of events that are celebrated worldwide. In fact, so many that I wasn't even aware of that they had days. So what I did, I went through some of them and thought that, okay, what ones or which of them could be relevant to WiGE? So I selected some of them, I think about 10, 12. And what has been happening is on those days, we generally put something up on Twitter and Instagram just to commemorate those days. So that's basically what my that slide shows.
Okay.
Yeah. So apart from that, I mean, any other thing that is relevant, it doesn't mean that we will not put it up there. But I just thought, in order to keep the sites busy throughout the year. Yeah.
Right. Even if when we take photos today now, imagine maybe we just drop it on the Instagram.
There's even something coming up now, well, by next week, which will run into Geologist Day, which is coming up.
Sorry, I'm supposed to have called.
Can we keep ourselves muted, please? Thanks, Iyabo. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, can I just ask, does anybody have any question, maybe one or two questions for any of the activities before we just move on quickly?
We have one last team.
Our group has not shared.
Hey, how did I miss that? Hey,
it's because you went to, I will call your attention to it.
It's because you went to be supporting, you went to be presenting other people's. Okay, go ahead and
doing more and doing more. So this year for Fun WiGE,
of course,
and my team have been fully represented here.
Miss it? Wow. How did I miss that?
Let me first off, I know I have 5 minutes, so I'm just going to go there easily.
You have 2 minutes.
So 2 minutes. Okay.
No, it's okay. Take it.
Okay, I just wanted to give shout out to the team members: Benny, Ejiro, Dolapo, Madam Florida, Ayomi Kosi. I know that a couple of people have just joined us. They've contributed. My apologies if I didn't mention your name, but I love you. All right. So Fun WiGE. So first thing first. We are no longer going to be Fun WiGE. We are now going to be Social
WiGE.
Hey. So a round of applause for that one, because everybody agreed to this one. That fun just looked like, it's just faffing around, but we are more than that. We bring all the energy and the social aspect of the things that we do into the room. So we'll like, and we are pleading with you, Madam D, that you nicely and kindly change our name to Social WiGE. In fact, Benny says it should be SWIG.
Done, madam.
SWIG.
Done.
It's okay. Very
so,
accepted. Done.
Just say SWIG. Say the SWIG
So,
team.
so we have two more group of people today, WiGerians and Swigerians.
Right. So, but for us, our focus is on collaborating with every of the other committee, because we see ourselves as really like a balanced team for both professional and your personal empowerment. We have seen people come up with meet and greet events. We would like to collaborate with you. We would like to bring the fun aspects and the social aspect of it to limelight. I've heard the Learn team talk about Meet and Connect. I've heard the Connect team as well that I presented on Madam Doris's team. So we're happy to help you. We are interested in also being a part of your Lunch and Learn events in the schools. We have thought of donations in terms of books, collating materials from members or matured professional or people mid-career, whichever dimension you fall, but we are interested in pursuing angles around, can we begin to think around donations when we do events or maybe sponsorship for different categories of our members? And definitely the expectation is for us to have a outdoor event this year, either a picnic, a beach party, whatever it is, but the aim is to ensure that everyone is just mentally, physically, emotionally, professionally, financially sound. And the bonding in WiGE has to be different this year. It will not be, oh, I don't know you, I don't know your name, I don't know, I know only some very few people. We want it to be that you know everyone. We want WiGE, SWIG wants WiGE to be a family. And that's what we hope that we'll be able to achieve.
WiGE wants WiGE.
To be a family, yeah? And then the final thing for us this year is that we are keen on building visibility for WiGE members. And we begin to pursue conversations around ensuring that WiGE members, through social showcase, bringing some courses that will help you, volunteering activities and asking that you please sign up. But the world is now thinking visibility, strategic visibility for every skill set that is in this group. We want the world to know it. The WiGE should be on specific platforms, and we are happy to bring all the women that showcases such expertise into that place. So it's SWIG and it's hashtag collaboration. So that's what we have for you from the SWIG team. That's
SWIG.
it.
Madam Swig, you forgot that we're having a team building. You forgot to mention our team building.
I wanted you to do that. I wanted you to do that.
No, Social WiGE now.
Okay, no, SWIG. So we have something being planned for middle of the year in partnership, quote and unquote, with another group of dynamic professional women. And this discussion has started. It is planned as a retreat. We know that Lagos can be trafficked. That's why we are building your mind, you know, because I know women, there are many barriers we have to build. Who will take care of this, who will take care of that. So please know that we'll start announcing this. It may come with maybe leaving home early, maybe getting to a location that is different from where you live, a bit of travel, but we are asking that you please be a part of this. We haven't defined the location yet, but it's definitely going to be within Lagos on the island side of Lagos. So prepare your mind against the traffic too, but we hope to start early, bring everyone on board and have a good retreat with all members of WiGE. I guess that's the good information to share so that when we put it on the platform, you already know that we've mentioned this and you can prepare towards it. And it will be, yeah, that's it. I wanted Madam Doja to talk about it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, SWIG. Maybe you'll be DWIG, digital WiGE. But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No problem. DWIG, no problem.
DWIG, SWIG and DWIG. The other ones will check out whether FWIG. But anyway, yes. So just moving right along, it's time to say thank you. It's time to say thank you. I'm sure we will. Everyone has been fantastic. The session, as usual, has been fantastic. And particularly Mr. Fido, his session, I mean, the content, the depth of his presentation, we want to appreciate him. And for that purpose, I would like to call on Professor Ajakaye to help us with this. Ma, are you still on? Can you hear me? Are you still on?
I think she left, so it will be IPP.
Okay.
Do the honors.
Okay. Can you take it, ma, Mrs. Ojelabi?
Oh, it gives me great pleasure to invite our IPP, our one and only, the original, where's all the applause now? I'm building up drum roll to this, the one and only female to take Chevron through the COVID, and not only that, for NAPE to be, excellent, performing, transformative. Oh, please give me all those Oyibo languages. It gives me
all
great
the
pleasure.
isms. Unfortunately,
our publicist
the
is here.
platform does not allow us to
please,
do anything.
drum roll and applause as I welcome Mrs. Patricia Ochogu to do the honors for us. Please, Mrs. Atobile, can you share the slide so that she can help us present the award to Mr. Fido?
Please.
Thank you, IPP. We are clapping. Oh, I'm still clapping. I'm clapping
for Mr. Fido.
IPP, I'm clapping for you.
I'm trying to share this slide.
Okay, while the slide is coming up.
Tubosun, please help me share the slide. I don't know what's happening with mine. Yes, please. Thank you so much. So I'm going to have to stop sharing. Okay, great.
Okay. So, okay. Our dear Mr. Fido, who has been a foundation member of WiGE, all the WiGE. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your dedication to our cause. And on behalf of the organizers of today's event, I wish to present to you this e-plaque in commemoration of all your help and the nice talk you gave today, really thought-provoking. We wish you all the very best, and we know that we can always call on you. Thank you for being there for us all the time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, so much.
Thank you very much.
Keep the clap coming in on the chat pane. Just keep the clap coming in on the chat pane. Thank you.
Appreciate this wonderful plaque. And
our FWIG.
Yes.
I feel very honored. But I'm just doing what comes natural to me. I may be biased because unconsciously or consciously, I have in my house right now, I'm the only male, always surrounded by five females. So I suppose I came and I said I was blessed. The Bible says, blessed is he among women. That's why I'm so blessed. And I thank you very much for this honor. It goes a long way. I really appreciate it. And it will spur me to continue to give you my best to WiGE. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And so this takes us to you know what you do when you have ticked all the boxes, you take pictures to commemorate. So Chioma Okafor, we will just invite you to come in and just handle this session. This is our photo shoot.
Yes.
Red carpet.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So are we ready for the photo shoot?
Right. So
Yes,
You're gonna
we
have
are
to show your videos. Yes.
exactly. So please turn on your videos and get that smile on. It's Friday after all, so there's plenty to smile about.
Yes.
I want to
is
see
it afternoon at your hand?
Huh?
Is it afternoon at your hand?
Good evening.
Friday afternoon.
Very evening. Wow, it's so wonderful to see people that I have not seen for a while. I'm admiring everybody first before I start taking pictures, so don't mind me.
My video is disabled. I'm not able to show my video.
Really? Maybe you didn't log on with your video.
No, I'm on the road. I had to quit out of my device. So right now I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Hey,
try and activate it now. You should be able to share your video now.
Okay.
Yes.
For just 1 minute.
Mama, please hold on. He will try to move everyone.
Fantastic. There you are.
Okay.
We would have missed this place.
Maybe you hold on so that I can add everybody to join.
Juliana.
Okay. So we'll hold on so you can add everybody.
I'm not able to show my video.
Just hold
He's
on.
going to add you now.
Just hold on. He will add you now.
All right.
Hey, Yabo Sindix.
Yabo.
This is the first time I'm seeing you this year.
Yabo, you're muted. You're muted, Yabo.
Okay, you can see the power lines without power in the background.
Okay.
Okay. Let me remute myself.
We need the remaining 3. Mr. Fido, are you helping us?
Okay, I'm not able to turn on my video.
Just hold on. I'm still working on it. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Okay, well, okay.
Now I am having problem trying to take the picture. Please, 1 minute.
Don't worry, Chairman. Mr. Tunde is
going to do a screen grab.
I will take it as well.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, did you say someone?
That's good. Yes, Chairman, Mr. Tunde is going to help us. Tunde, you need to put yourself in the picture too. Turn on your video so that
okay, I'll do that.
Your face. We haven't seen you this year either.
I'll do that.
Okay. Our smile is finishing,
No, you are not taking the videos yet. He's still moving people so they can be able
finish
to
my
smile.
The wattage is going down the longer we wait.
Okay, so we just need Dolapo's video on and Onome's video on.
Yes, we have 2 people that are off.
Please make sure your face is kind of inside the screen so that we can. Is kind of.
And
like
you can make sure you are facing the light. If you face the light, then your picture will be clear.
Okay.
Nah, I don't want to show you my face. I'll show you my feet instead.
I'm already seeing your face. Your face, I'm seeing. I've been seeing your face.
You can see your face,
Hey. Even before video, I saw your face.
Today, you got the memo. You got the yellow memo. In fact, now it's strategic location.
I got the yellow memo.
We got the yellow memo.
Yes, so.
More are now coming now that we're
next year maybe we should just use a color for International Women's Day.
Yes,
it's supposed to be purple.
Like all yellow or all purple.
That's a good
idea.
Yes.
It's supposed to be purple.
Purple.
This year is supposed to be purple, yeah.
Maybe we'll do.
Yeah, but you're going to put this thing on Twitter, right? We can all post it, right?
Yeah, I can. Even the wall, I will post it when I get home. I'll post it on Twitter and Instagram.
Can't do it.
Hi, Anome.
Efe Tobore Agambi, more people are showing. Okay. You have to help us.
I've been here, but I can't turn off my video.
Try to do it now. Try to do it now.
Can I leave now? I have to leave, you guys. Tunde, can I leave?
No, don't leave. Take the video.
Please note that anybody wants me to post anything of them, whether good, bad,
just wait
ugly,
for
should
a
just
minute
send
so
it
that
to
we
me.
can
Just wait a minute. So it's now
can add more
remaining
people.
Okemute, Ezene, and Nancy.
Please go ahead and take the picture. I'm not able to pull up my video.
Try it now.
Okay.
Try it now. Unless, of course, you are not in a position to.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, you don't want to. Okay, fine. What about Mrs. Umore and Dolapo? Can you just speak so we know whether you are still there?
Okay. Hope that's not wine you are drinking.
White wine. It's water.
Okay,
you didn't hear when I called your name.
Oh, no. If a Tobore, don't go. Put on the lights and let's do what we have, please. We can't see you again. No, if a Tobore, it is dark. Is it NEPA?
We have exactly 2 more minutes to the end of our session. So
wow. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
Smile, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
you so much, everybody.
Please include our names in the WiGE platform, please.
Right. So I think if there is any other announcements? Tubosun, is there any other announcements?
Can I say a short one?
Yes, please.
Please, if anybody has anything they want to share on any of the media platform, they should just send an email to the email address info@wigi-ng.org.
Okay. Let me write that down. Info@wigi.
Okay,
Mrs.
yeah, but just
Ojelabi, I
check
think you can
also
just
in
say
the
the
platform.
closing.
No, it's on that slide.
Info@wigi. Okay.
At wigi-ng.org.
Come and take your food.
Did you get it? It's on that slide. It's on that slide.
So we'll just share it on the chat while you're. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
you can say
the
future. Closing. You can say the closing remarks.
So thank you very much, everybody. We're really grateful for your time and grateful that you chose to spend the last couple of hours with us. So before we go, we just had one more slide at the end of this closing remarks that Mrs. Achobile is going to share with us. Just some inspiring quotes for us to take away to, maybe someday you need a boost, something that you can take a look at. So I'm going to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining. Thank you for all the people that, I'm sorry if I couldn't mention your name or I didn't. Hi, Jenny. I see Jenny here. Hi, Jenny. And hello, Mr. Mascot Ogunjemiyo. And there are so many other people that joined us. I'm sorry, Dr. Isibo, Mr. Abiru or Mrs. Abiru Nkechi, Temiloluwa, and so many other people. Thank you so much for spending the 2 hours with you. And Mrs. Akibloye, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. The quotes are out there. I mean, you can even see them. It says, be you, do you, for you. And I think that's really important, particularly that one. I find out that the reason we struggle a lot is because we are really besides ourselves. So as much as possible, let us spend time, let us spend our efforts to just try as much as possible to be our authentic selves. Many of us have to find ourselves. Many of us don't even know ourselves because over time we've grown up being what people said we are. And even by all this labeling and all of that, we just play to it. That journey of just finding yourself is very necessary so that you can know how aligned you are and you can, take the liberty to really align and be you. And so be you, do you, for you. Prove them wrong. I want to progress every day. Just being able to really define what progress is. And progress is not always what they say. It's really what it is that is taking you to where you should be going. That's the real color of success. You know, it says, try, fail, adjust, and then try again, you know. And there are just so many other things there. It says, and dream more, complain less. Truth of the matter is that there is so much to complain about, so much to justifiably complain about. Listen more. We don't listen. Talk less. Love more. Argue less. Hope more. Fear less. Relax more. Worry less. Believe more. Doubt less. Play more. Work less. I mean, this is so beautiful. This particular one, if you really can just spend time on this, you find out that all the less things are the ones that just draw your veins, you know. But when the more things are the ones that, you know, when you come to a point where you say, this is who I am, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I know what I need to get there, I know what it is I require to get to where I am going, I know what I have out of those things I require, I know what I don't have, I know what my plans are to acquire what I need to have. But yet there are things that you don't have that you don't need to have. And it's in that conversation, that journey of just finding yourself, right? I call that the definition of self-leadership. Is just being able to find yourself. That even helps you to understand that, you know what, I'm supposed to be weak at this, but guess what? It's not part of the journey I'm going. So I'm not going to try to be good at it because it's totally irrelevant to my journey. So just all that, those key knowings, and I can go on and on, so I don't start to preach. So let's just go trying to be able to answer, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I know what I need to get there, I know what I have out of these needs, I know what I don't have, I have plans to acquire what I have, I know what I don't have that I don't need, and guess what? I'm comfortable with me. If you can get to that point, dreaming more will be easy, listening more will be easy, loving more will be easy, and all the other more things that are there. I think I'm going to stop on that note. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you, ma'am.
God bless you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you again next time. And we'll be, of course, we'll be posting our events on the WiGE platform. So thank you, team leads. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you.
Over and out.
Bye.
Bye.
Out and over.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Out and over. Yeah.
You know, I must always do things differently. Okay.
Okay, madam. Out and over. Bye, Yabo. Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Yeah.
Bye.